In week 3 of this progression, and we can see that our goals are to progress motion as tolerated, progress weight bearing to where they're full weight bearing, hopefully so that we can wean them from crutches as they demonstrate adequate quad control. Now Maddie's motion is from 3 to 104 degrees. She lacks a few degrees of extension, so we give her the figure 4 hamstring stretch to stretch both the hamstring and the calf at the same time. For gait education, we're now able to progress her weight bearing and instruct her on a 3-point gait pattern as is seen here. She's weight bearing as tolerated, and our main goal is to try to get terminal knee extension. You can see that she lacks terminal knee extension both at heel strike and through stance phase as she's walking with her crutches. This is something we're going to have to continue to work on. As far as progressing her range of motion, I start using the stationary bike. As you can see here now, the bike can be used with the uninvolved leg doing all the work and the involved leg just sitting on the pedal. We want to make sure they're not hiking their hip, and when they can, we want them to try to dorsiflex the ankle so that we can get ankle motion at the same time. As they go through this, it's important that we watch their knee position. You can see here that her left knee tends to go into valgus the more she goes into flexion, and this is something we want to work on and hopefully eliminate, as this does put more stress on the knee. Now that Maddie's able to weight bear, we can begin basic body weight exercises as part of our strengthening program. Here you see a wall squat, which is probably one of the most common exercises that we do. We have the athlete stand with feet shoulder width apart, go down slowly, and then contract the quad of the involved side to help push the body back up while they spot with the other side. We'll also have them do terminal knee extension with some resistance to help coordinate the extension of the knee and the contraction of the glutes at the same time, which will help during gait. Once they're comfortable with this and have good knee control, we'll do standing hip abduction, which we have the athlete do standing on both their involved and their uninvolved leg, so that the hip musculature has to work both as a stabilizer and as a primary mover of the motion that is being done. Once the athlete's comfortable with body weight exercises, we'll progress them to traditional resisted exercises on some of the equipment. Here you see Maddie on the leg press. We just want to make sure her legs are shoulder width apart and toes are pointed out slightly. We progress on to the multi-hip machine where we do a multitude of exercises, again working both sides. Here you see Maddie working on hip extension using the shuttle for resistance. We'll also use the shuttle to work on single leg knee extension with light resistance. Because of our improved quad control, at the end of the week we're able to progress her to walking with a single crutch. Our goals for week 3 were to progress to full weight bearing, wean from crutches, and progress her motion without restriction. At the end of the week her motion was from 0 to 124. This concludes phase 1 of her rehabilitation. Phase 2, which is weeks 4 to 9, will now be discussed. In this phase we want to regain full knee motion, have good neuromuscular control for ADLs, have a normal gait pattern, and good strength base. If you have any questions about the progression to